Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a tag. I don't do too many tags, but I'm aiming to release a whole bunch of tag videos related around, Halloween and scary stuff and the spooky season. Stuff that's appropriate for October, I suppose. Of course, Boris is here with me today. He wanted to tag along and do these wonderful videos with me, and I have to put him away now because people may think I'm weird bringing a plastic skull to a cemetery. So Boris has been put away inside my bag for the time being anyway. So the Buffy tag, I am a big fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I've been watching it for years. I was introduced to it by a friend of mine who I haven't seen in years, but I met him in college and he had a whole season of Buffy on VHS. Not sure how it was introduced to me or how he convinced me to watch it, but I suppose it looked interesting. Sorry about that guys, there was a car going past, and I always like to make it a golden rule when I'm filming in these cemeteries is that I don't want to intrude on people's privacy. So anyway, I watched the show, I loved it, and I bought it on DVD. I bought the whole thing on DVD, and I've watched it about 3 times I think, and I really love it. It's not going to get boring. Obviously parts of it are better than others, but I'm a big fan of the show. So I was looking on YouTube and I found a Buffy the Vampire Slayer tag, so I thought I would do it. So this is the Buffy tag. Also, I will have all the questions linked down below, so in case you want to do it, feel free, they're all down below. So yeah, it's there if you want to do it. They're all listed down below, as well as the creator of this tag if I can find out who done it. So question 1, my favourite episode, probably Passion from season 2, where Angel is evil and he's talking about life, I guess, and he's just skulking around, stalking Buffy and her friends, and that's the episode where Jenny Calendar was killed, and there's like a really powerful scene where Angel is kind of looking in the window at Buffy and her friends the moment that they find out that Jenny has died or been killed, and his sheer joy on his face is just so horrific, and it's just like a really haunting scene. And I couldn't really think of any episodes that are my favourite. I mean, I love all the episodes, well, most of them anyway, about 90% of them. I like the ones about the backstory of Angel and Spike when they were vampire, well they're technically vampires, but you know what I mean, when they were originally vampires, their backstories and how they were once human and how they were sired and changed, as well as that episode in the last season, season 7, with Spike and his mother, and how he wanted to save her from death and sickness by changing her into a vampire, and that all went I mean, that all messed up. So question 2, my least favourite episode, I don't know, probably Bad Beer or Beer Bads. You know, the one where Buffy and a group of college guys drink a bunch of beer and they turn into cavemen. It wasn't that great. It didn't add anything to the whole series or storyline or plot or even character development. It was just there for filler. And I mean, I get the whole point of the whole concept of people consuming large quantities of alcohol makes them revert into more animalistic basic behavior, like cavemen. So I know what it was trying to portray, but the episode was just a really unnecessary one, and it's one that I could easily skip. Question 3, Buffyverse OTP. Now this is basically your favourite couple in the Buffy series. I suppose that everyone's going to say Willow and Tara, but I am going to go outside the box and say that I really like the relationship between Giles and Jenny Calendar. She didn't get very far in the whole show until she was killed off by Angel or Angelus. But I liked it because Giles is a very British proper gentleman back then at the time of the show, and he was all all proper and all wanting to be romantic, although he kind of had a shy schoolboy type of feel, thinking, oh, she's beautiful and I've got to try to impress her and all that, but epically failing. It was kind of sweet, and Jenny was more adventurous and out there, and I think that she kind of brought that out in Giles, and she made him be more adventurous and go outside his comfort zone. I'm not sure why they killed her off. Maybe it was her contract was finishing, or they actually didn't know what to do with her character. I don't know what else they could have done with her character, to be honest, if she stayed. But it's interesting that if she did stay, because as the show went on, we found out about Giles's time as a teenager, how he was a rebellious teenager, and I think that would have been really interesting to see that side of Giles's character with Jenny in a relationship type of setting. It would have been toxic, I think. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say, my favourite couple. Question 4, favourite major and minor character. I would say that I really like Spike. Every single episode and scene that he's in, I always love his character and his attitude and everything that he evokes. And probably my least favourite character is, I can't remember her name, but that was that girl at the start of episode or season 4 that was sharing a room with Buffy in the dorms, and she was very, very organised and particular about stuff, and they were winding each other up in the episodes in their rooms with all the different stuff that they did and their habits. And she turned out to be a demon. I don't know why she was in the show. Maybe because they wanted to portray Buffy in a different setting, like kind of a fish out of water type of thing. But I didn't really like her. I found her unnecessary and irritating. I can't remember her name, but I will have a picture of her up on the screen. Question 5, favourite quote, anything said by Buffy in the whole of the show. Question 6, favourite villain. Now I'm going to interpret this in my own way. I am going to think about this as all the different type of villains in all the seasons, all the major big bads. So I'm going to say my favourite villain is Adam from season 4. I really liked Adam. It was more of a kind of a soldier version of Frankenstein's monster, and how he had all these different powers and abilities, how he had all these different body parts and aspects of all these different demons. And I thought it was really cool. Really interesting, and he wasn't. He seemed to be interested in life and how things worked, but he was a really, really bad and evil character. So I liked Adam. Question 7, biggest WTF moment. That was probably when I was first introduced to Dawn. Like, one minute it was just like a normal episode of Buffy, and then the next moment she walked into her bedroom and there was a strange girl in her room, and Buffy's mum in the background. Sorry, there was a fly. And Buffy's mum in the background was saying, "Buffy, if you're not doing anything, could you take your sister out?" or something along them lines. And then they both turned around and said at the same time, "Mum." And I'm like, okay, who is this character? She wasn't introduced in any way or referenced in any way. She was just thrown in there, and it was like, okay, what the hell is this? But as the season progressed, we find out that that character was Dawn, Buffy's sister. Question 8. Death that made you cry the most. I don't really cry in the season or when I'm watching the episodes or the different seasons. Obviously I feel sad and happy in some of them. There was no deaths that made me cry or sad, and I mean some of them did. Yeah, I mean Taro, when Taro was killed, that was sad. But I think that when Oz left the show, like when he got in his van originally and he just went off into the distance, he was driving off into the distance. I think that was a sad moment because that was like a clean slate, and this character that I loved was going, and I didn't know whether he was coming back or whether he was going to be staying away forever. And yeah, because I felt a really kinship to us, because I think that our personalities are different. So yeah, when Oz left the show was when I was probably the most sad, but I didn't cry. Question 9. Last episode you saw/read. So the last episode that I watched was the finale of season 7, the very last episode. And the last book that I read, well, the first and last book that I read of Buffy was Halloween Reign, which hopefully will be out, if not before, maybe slightly after this video, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's the last episode and last book I read from Buffy. I do have other books from the whole Buffy series, so I'll get around to them as soon as I can, probably after the October period. And question 10, if you had to get your friends to watch the show, what is the one sentence you would use? Do you want to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer? I don't really know what else you could say, or what else I could say, or what else I wanted to say. And the last thing I've got to do is I've got to tag some people. Apart from Edie Lewis and Elizabeth Sagewood, which I will tag you guys if you haven't done it already. I don't know if you have or if you haven't, but if you haven't, you're tagged. And I mean, outside them two booktubers, I don't know who's a fan of Buffy, but if you are a fan of Buffy, consider yourself tagged. You can say that I tagged you. As I said, questions will be linked down below, so it'll make it easier for you guys. Hopefully you like this video, and yeah, I'll see you in my next one, guys.